But some of y'all just say the king. Now this is what I'm going to call him, because the other name that I was saying by trying to do what you teach us in school, you know, enunciate and pronunciate, it was going to say exorcism. We don't want that today. No, so you just let me know if I'm right or if I'm close. Don't embarrass me, Miss Lewis, okay? I'm going to say that he is Xerxes. All right now. All right. Woo, y'all don't know. I was sweating about that when I said, oh, Lord, I know how to pronounce everything. But that one right there, I said, exorcism. I said, Lord, not that. Not today. We won't do that. Although it is like an exorcism getting rid of Haman the beast. So Xerxes experienced a case of royal insomnia and ordered the reading of some historical records, hoping perhaps that this dull material will put him to sleep. And you can find that in the very first chapter, verse in chapter 6, and it's the first verse. Okay, so that was part A of my outline that I have set up. Now, the reader by chance just happened to begin reading at the place which related how Mordecai had once saved the king's life by exposing an assassination plot. Now, did y'all really read it? All right now, okay, I just want to make sure y'all with me. My outline ain't gonna matter if you didn't read it or you don't know the story.
That makes sense.
Okay, so then the king, now fully awake, asked, what honor and dignity have been bestowed upon Mordecai for this? And you can find that in 6:3. The answer from his advisor was, there has nothing been done for him. At that exact moment, Haman arrived at Xerxes' palace, seeking the king's permission to hang Mordecai. The king, still determined to reward Mordecai, neither Xerxes nor Haman, of course, knew what the other was thinking. Okay? Using Haman as a sounding board, and inquired, what shall be done for the man whom the king delighteth to honor? The arrogant and self-centered Haman immediately thought that the king was talking about him. Why did you think the king was talking about you? But that's what happens. You know, that's what happens when you're arrogant. Ladies, you ever been arrogant? You ever thought that boy was talking about you, but he was talking about your best friend?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's okay. It is all right. It doesn't even matter. Xerxes had him in mind, and he thought that Xerxes had him in mind, and bravely suggested the following. Number 1, that the man to be honored be clothed in the king's own royal robes. 2, that he be placed upon Xerxes' personal horse. 3, that he be allowed to wear the king's crown. And 4, that the king's most noble prince lead this hero seated upon the horse through the streets of the city, shouting his praises for all to hear. Ain't that something? Now, you know, if somebody tells you something like that, you know they talking about themselves. But that's in that world. But in here, when you have the Holy Spirit, if you're going to talk about it about yourself, you're going to be arrogant, it's because you know that God is going to do it for you. So it's a difference between being arrogant, being cocky. I know how to be humble. I know how to be conceited and humble. I know how to be conceitingly humble.
Oh, that was
it's
good.
All different things.
That was good.
It's all different things. But guess what? I know how to be. Nobody ever said she thinks she's cute. In my head, I'm always cute. Even when I'm talking from the floor up, I'm always cute. Because sometimes you still have a little bit of the world in you. But that's okay. Now, part E to my outline. The king quickly agreed to all this and then turned to Haman and ordered his wicked prime minister to perform all this for Mordecai. All that for Mordecai. Woo! Better think sometimes before we open up our mouths and say different things. The totally dumbstruck Haman stumbled out to obey Xerxes' command and later hurried home. Utterly humiliated. That's right. Has anybody here ever been humiliated? It doesn't have to be any circumstances, but has anyone been humiliated? Don't humiliate. humiliated. Don't lie, we're in the house of God. I have. You have. Ooh, look at that. That's right. Go ahead. How about you? Deacon Owen? Miss Marion?
Definitely.
Be proud about the humiliation. Now, if I ask you about your skin, be proud about no. Be proud about being humiliated. You know why? Because it makes you humble.
That's right.
Even if you was lacking being humble in that situation, in that part, it makes you humble. It makes you become humble. Okay. Hannah stumbled out to obey Xerxes' command and later hurried home, utterly humiliated. Even there he received no comfort but heard this from his wife. Boy, we wives. If Mordecai is of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shalt surely fall before him. And you can find that in chapter 6, verse 13. And I have to say for a minute that his wife said that to him. Now, I can relate to this part. Last night, me and Troy were sitting in the emergency room, and he's staring at me, so I looked, and he made me feel uncomfortable. I was like, what? Why are you looking at me? He was like, because you told me so. I said, I didn't say anything. This isn't the time. I already told you so when I was telling you so. So he said, but your eyes are telling it all. That my expressions are something that I can't control. I can look at you, I can tell you, I like you. My eyes be like, no, she don't. No, she don't. No, she don't. No, she don't. You know, but I didn't even think that I was looking like that. It wasn't fear. It was just more of me just trying to pray. I honestly literally was tired because I didn't have any sleep. So it wasn't that, but it's just that he knows the look. So I just, in just reading it, it made me think about that last night. F to my outline, my number one outline, I should say. While they yet spoke, he received the message to attend Esther's banquet. You can find that in chapter 6, and that's from verse 14. All right, now, I'm setting up for scene 2. The king's banquet hall. He learns of Haman's treachery. Yes, he does. And in this scene, we also have the institution of a feast. And guess what, y'all? We going to institution the feast, too. We're going to have a feast. Y'all better get happy. Don't act like that. Don't act like y'all is not happy about the food. Because when y'all get back there, I always got to be the mean one like, I got to clean. I need to go home. Can y'all get up and go? So don't act like y'all not happy about the food. Come on, y'all better say amen and give God some glory for this food. Because I'll take it all to the mission. They hungry. I'll take it to the bus station. They hungry. All right, scene 2, the king's banquet hall, and this is in chapter 7. The treachery learned. Number 1, Esther warned the king that a plot was underway to slaughter both her and all her people. The king, filled with astonishment and then anger, asked, who is he and where is he? Excuse me. Who would presume in his heart to do so? Chapter 7, verse 5, you can find that. Esther pointed to Haman and replied, the adversary and enemy is the wicked Haman. You can find that in chapter 7, verse 6. You can also see 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8. Now, the tables are going to turn. Y'all ready for some table turning? Now, I hope y'all setting this up in your mind. Okay, I'm having a little bit of issues today, so I can't be all theatrical, because I gained a little weight, so I can't put in my jacket. So I had to leave the shirt on underneath of it. Therefore, I had to put on the blue eyeshadow so I could kind of all blend it in. So come on, y'all, pray for me. Let this work with me. I'm a little bloated and all that kind of stuff. So, it's a struggle. The struggle's real for me and my belly and my clothes right now. So let's just pray for me. Let's pray that don't no buttons pop and hit Pastor. Because I bent over the other day to help my husband grab something when he was complaining of chest pains 3 days ago and told me nothing was going on. And my button flew across the room. He ain't know what to say because, he ain't want to make me seem offended. He was like, somebody's button's going to fall. Somebody's going to be in the room. It's my button. I'm gonna pick it up, but I'm not gonna put it back on. All right, so part one of the tables turning. Xerxes, unable to speak because of his fury, walked outside into his palace garden for a moment. Filled with horrible fear, the cowardly Haman begged Esther to intercede to the king for him. In this terrible fright, he accidentally fell upon the couch where Esther was reclining. He accidentally fell on the couch where Esther was reclining. Okay, First Lady, you walk in your house. Sherelle accidentally fell on the couch with Pastor Thomas was reclining. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing I can definitely say about this situation. Okay, two. First Lady ain't going to believe nothing's going on. We wouldn't even believe the story. Because Pastor's always in the basement. He's always in the basement. What you doing, working out? So, we know that wouldn't be true. But we just going to set this plot up. And we just gonna think about it, and we gonna picture all this. Okay? So everybody had this picture? At this point, Xerxes walked back in and viewed what he interpreted to be a rape attempt on the part of Haman. Upon learning of the nearby gallows that Haman had built for Mordecai, that the king warned out in his wrath for Haman himself to be hanged that very night. Sherelle, you getting hung for something you didn't even do. It's okay, you gonna take an L for the team. Ladies, she's taking one for the team. Anybody got anything they want to get off their chest? Anybody? No? Okay, she's taking one for the team. Let's go. Now, what I want you guys to note is that Haman had violated that fearful warning of God to Abraham, which said, "And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee." That is in Genesis chapter 12, verse 3. For this violation, he will forfeit his life. Pharaoh learned that Esther's people couldn't be drowned. Nebuchadnezzar learned they couldn't be burned.
That's right.
Darius learned that they couldn't be eaten.
That's right.
Haman learned that they couldn't be hanged.
That's right.
Ain't that something? Okay, people learning things about their death, but just take me out. How you gonna take me out? I don't want to learn about it. After his execution, Xerxes gave Esther Haman's estate and appointed Mordecai his new prime minister.
That's right.
That could be found in chapter 8, the first verse and the second verse.
Jesus.
Both now begged the king to reverse Haman's order. But the law of the Medes and Persians, once made, was immutable, and not even Xerxes himself could change it.
That's right.
Now, y'all see that? Some things can't be changed in our world,
Jesus.
and that's the acts of God. That's the work of God.
Yes.
So what I want everybody to try to see is that when you read the Bible, it's easy to put faces and to put people to it and to say, okay, Haman did that, Mordecai did this. When we stand here today, we never can really find that accountable person because we're never really looking for that accountable person. That accountable person is yourself. It doesn't matter who made you do it, who did it to you. There's always signs. There's always signs to let somebody walk out of your life. You let them walk out, what happened? Or you feel bad, you think about the things they did, all I think about is time. Now, I know it should be money. I think about time, because one thing I can't get back is my time. I'm a mother of 8, a grandmother of 1, so when I think about if Susie called me on the phone and she's talking 15 minutes when she could have just really texted me what she wanted to say because it's really nothing that she wanted to talk about, girl, that's 15 minutes I can't get back. I'm not even talking about the fact that I'm taking 15 minutes away from what I do, working from home, and taking 15 minutes away and some money being missed. No, but just the fact that I can't get time back. So my biggest thing is time, is when I give my time, respect it.
Right.
My time is more than any dollar could ever bring to anybody. And I'm not being cocky, I'm being confident. I'm just stating how I feel and what pertains to my life. Time is everything. I can't get time back. I can get $1 back. I'm still short the other $1 I gave, but I still can get $1 back. So, if, when I put my time in somewhere, what I'm saying for me, I can't speak for everybody else, respect my time. Make my time seem like it's $1 million, because that's what it is to me. I can't get it back. I can't get that back. My money, I can't take it with me when I go. But my time is so valuable and so important, because as kids, we all been there when we felt like our parents didn't have time for us, or this person didn't have time for us, or we didn't have time to do this because we was too busy doing that because we was a child and everything. So it's true. Time is everything. And you cannot, never, ever, 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 ever get it back at all. He ordered the Jews to defend themselves. Mordecai immediately sent copies of this new decree to all of the 127 provinces. Now we get to the feast. The institution of a feast, Purim. This is chapters 9 through 10. It's only summed up in 3 portions. Number 1. The Jews prepared themselves and were able to slaughter their enemies on February 23rd, execution day. Number 2. Mordecai and Esther then instituted a new memorial feast called Purim to commemorate yearly their great salvation from Haman. That is chapter 9, verses 20 through 32. Number 3. Mordecai became a great and godly statesman, respected by both Jews and Gentiles for his abilities and actions. And you can find that in verse 10. Now, reading that, and actually the last part, because I didn't get as to that far, because I said that I wasn't going to use this when I tried to sit down, and I tried to write, and for whatever reason I couldn't write. It's okay. And every sermon doesn't have to be written, because I believe that everything should come from out of here anyway. Everything should be coming from here. I don't want to know what anybody else's mind is thinking or anything like that. But to think about this and what is going through, ladies. Think about your life. Think about everything that you have gone through. Is there any time in your life that you didn't think that God was moving through there, but he was moving? Mm-hmm. Can you relate to this whole book of Esther from 1 to 10, that although God wasn't mentioned, that he wasn't working?
Right.
He works.
Right.
He works.
In mysterious ways.
God works. The problem is that you take the same prayer to him over and over and over again. He heard you the first time, and that was 30 years ago. You 70 years old now, talking about something you ain't, because you keep asking me. That's why I didn't answer it. It's just like the bill collectors. They call, they hang up, they call right back. I had caller ID. You called me 5 minutes ago. It's just that once you pray about it, leave it to God. Leave it to him. He will handle everything. He can do all things because he is God. Ladies, what is your prize? Anybody want to shout out what their prize is? Do you know what the prize is? Or better yet, to eliminate that, because everybody right now want to put their business out there. What is the prize out of this? Out of Esther? What is the prize? Amen. And guess what? That's my prize. It's my faith. That's why I didn't write anything. My prize is faith. My faith, I'm here. I'm here. This is the prize. My prize is everybody sitting there. My prize is everybody sitting here. My prize is everybody sitting there in the back over here. There's not one person in this room except for the visitors that we may have that hasn't done anything for me. But guess what? Now y'all have done something for me because y'all sat here and y'all listened to me. You could have walked out. You didn't have to say anything. You didn't have to laugh. You don't even have to be shaking your head now. So there is faith.
Right.
You have to have faith. You have to keep the faith no matter what. No matter what, you have to keep faith. I'm not going to lie. My whole 2 months have been just all over the place. I'm just not in a happy place with myself. It has nothing to do with nobody else. It's something that I go through every year around October. I go through it. October doesn't sit well with me. I lost my grandmother in October. I lost my daughter's godfather in October. 1 year my son was missing in October. October just doesn't sit well. And although I'm never thinking about it, never. It doesn't even be embedded into my mind. The only thing that makes me remember the actual death of my grandmother is the fact that she passed the day before my mother's birthday. That's the only thing that gives me a memory of it. But what I was talking to Sister Ramonda about last week is that when I go through hard times and I let them go, around the time something still weighs on me, and even things that's happened to me when I was younger and I really don't even think about it, but I can sit back and say, oh, well, that happened around then. It's God. He wants me to know that, remember, don't forget where you came from. Don't forget what you went through. But remember, you're not there no more. I removed that from you. I removed you from that situation. So I'll take the heaviness anytime, any day, rather than to go back to those tragic times, anything that happened, anything. And I don't know why my body is set up that way, or why it does it, or why God allows me to do it. But I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that I'm able to go through there because it brings me through. I'm able to be humble. I'm able to tell the doctor, like, look, I don't need the medicine. Let me work it out. Let me pray over it. Let me do this. Let me do that first before it gets to a point that I'll say, okay, you know what? That's not working. God's telling me to go do what I have to do to go get the medicine and everything. But just being here today, really, really helped me out. I didn't know what I was going to say, what I was going to do, because the last thing I told Troy was that I'm not writing anything. I'm going home, I'm not writing nothing. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to send Sister Andrew what I got to send her, and that's it. It is what it is. I said, I'll just get up there and say the prize. But you just never know what God is going to do and everything. So my prize is faith. My faith in God, and it's always been strong, even when I wasn't, actually walking in it. And I say that meaning walking into a house of worship, because it was a time that I didn't want to. That's not what I wanted to do. But God was with me. I constantly prayed. I constantly did what I had to do at home. But today, the prize is faith for me and all of you, and especially the women of community, because I know I'm a hard person to get along with, because my attitude, my main problem is that I keep it 100 and I just say what it is, how it is. I try to be respectful and say it, but in some situations, no matter how respectful you are, you say things, it is what it is. It just doesn't come out good. But every woman here has touched me and has done something for me, whether if it's just been a prayer, telling me like, Miss Gladys, she'll just shake her head. She'd be like, I'd be like, but I had to say it. She'd be like, So I thank you for trying to make me humble in that area, but that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. But I thank you guys. Happy Women's Day to the women of Community Baptist. May God continue to bless you all. Amen.